2 months ahead to September in Zurich, and this was in between the conference days. It was either a reception or a dinner or a cocktail party, something like that, with all of the speakers and panelists and conference goers. So I'm at this event. At some point I find myself waiting in line at the bar to get a drink. In front of me there's one other person, a conference goer, and I was looking around and I see behind me there's freaking Lars Krauss. And he sees me looking at him, he smiles at me, so then I turn around and I say, "Oh, how nice to see you again. I don't know if you remember me, but we met at 10. Mind you, I say this with a big smile on my face, because guess what? I was happy because I was talking to Lars Krauss. But I did not touch him, I did not hug him, I did not shake his hand. There was no kind of physical contact from me towards him. Okay? Okay. So I tell him, yeah, we met at 10, whatever. And what does he do? Right there, in front of people waiting in line to get drinks, he reaches down, grabs the bottom of my mini dress, which by the way was short, and tells me, "Yeah, I think you were wearing the same dress at 10 too, right?" And while he's saying this to me, the back of his hand is literally on my thigh, on my upper thigh, okay, like this. And then he also turns his hand around and does one of these. I don't think I'm showing this right, hold on. So just pretend that this piece of jeans here is actually the bottom of my dress, and it was just about this short. So he grabs the bottom of it, the back of his palm is, oh damn it, this is so freaking cringe and awkward. Okay, the back of his palm is on my thigh, touching my thigh, like glued to it, okay? Tells me that he saw me in this dress before, and then turns his hand around and runs it across my leg like this. Now my immediate reaction to this was, I was just shocked. So my reaction wasn't as strong as it should have been. Maybe I just flinched away and kind of laughed nervously. But in my head, obviously, I was like, dude, how about don't touch me? Also about that dress.
Okay, so what's going on here, Adnan? It's the first time you've seen this video. This is Christina Rad. Many years ago, she made a video about Lawrence Krauss and her being sexually inappropriately touched by him. And there's lots of allegations against him. And in the Epstein files, and I told you this the other day, I found a new leak. I found Dawkins giving advice, which you're going to see on the screen right now, an email from Dawkins to Lawrence Krauss, in which he's advising him on how to mitigate the fallout from the sexual allegations that were leveled against him. And Epstein gets into this equation because Lawrence Krauss is friends with Epstein, who is also a pervert, and he forwarded the email to Epstein to show him that, look, obviously I'm getting this sort of advice from Dawkins. Now, these people who are speaking about women's rights and all this type of stuff, they are collaborating to mitigate the damage from sexual harassment of women, and yet they want to lecture us about how we treat our women.
So what's wrong with that?
What do you mean?
What's the problem with all this?
This is atheism allows.
Thank you. So there is no problem with that. Richard Dawkins, as far as I know, is a consequentialist.
Yes.
Right? So as long as you can get away with a crime, you can commit that crime.
Yeah.
Right? So these people think in their private lives, in their private communications, they can do things like this, and it's not going to come out. But it has come out.
Yeah.
This is why we believe in God.
Yes.
This is why we believe in God's justice. We believe God exists because justice is served either here or there. And in this case, justice seems to have been served here. Everyone has seen the true faces of these bunch of, perverts. These are perverts. These are absolute perverts. Dawkins already believes in the non-existence of objective morality. He doesn't believe in objective morality.
Yes.
He's a consequentialist. He even tweeted once,
Mild pedophilia.
I'm not aware of that one, cannibalism. He said if you eat a dead body.
Did you see this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to misquote him, but he tweeted something to the effect of eating meat from a dead body. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't harm you. So people like this are leading, or were leading, because this movement is no more neo-atheistic movement that was on the rise by early 2011, 2010.
And look how Allah humiliated them, because they were caught on the Epstein plane. Dawkins was there, Dennett was there. Sam Harris was pretending he has nothing to do with this, and he came out in the emails as well, collaborating on some footage. So you have Dawkins, you have Sam Harris, you have Lawrence Krauss, you have all these new atheists, and what do they have in common? Atheism, hatred of Islam, and they're linked to Epstein.
and the link to the State of Israel.
Yes.
Don't forget that link.
Yes.
Because Epstein, according to
Mossad
many,
agent.
many important commentators from the US and beyond, they are saying Epstein was definitely an agent for Israel. He was a Mossad asset. Yeah, he was a Mossad asset. There's this guy from the CIA who used to work for the CIA. I was watching his interview.
Yeah.
And he said, he was asked this question point blank. Do you think Epstein was a Mossad agent or working for Israel? He said, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that he was a Mossad agent. And if that's the case, why are all these scientists
James
emailing?
Watson. James Watson came out yesterday.
Yeah.
James Watson was linked on the Epstein files, and he's the co-discoverer of the structure of DNA alongside Francis Crick. They won the Nobel Prize for that. So, what is the link between all these guys?
No, look, I really want people to understand this link, this chain. Israel, Epstein, scientists. What the hell is going on?
Not scientists, new atheists.
Neo-atheists, yeah. I mean, of course, they have their
But
degrees. We can't deny their PhDs and the degrees.
They're using the pretense of science.
Of course, they are using science for political ends.
That's it.
Or to build a narrative. I believe, why was Epstein, a pervert, a pedophile, a serial pedophile, possibly
funding these guys?
Possibly someone who was indulging in some kind of supernatural satanic rituals as well. I mean, he himself believes in some kind of supernatural power for him to indulge in these rituals, but he is funding neo-atheism.
To be clear, he's funded some projects which are linked to these guys. However, what's clear is there's personal links between these people. Lawrence Krauss was supposed to, remember the God delusion? The God delusion was a biological attack on the existence of God using Darwinism, and the missing gap was physics. That's where they brought in Lawrence Krauss.
Just like Subboor, just like atheists hijacked Darwin and his theory, these people are hijacking some of the scientific theories today. We're not saying all neo-atheists are in it. We're not saying that. We're not saying all neo-atheists are a bunch of perverts and they have bad
but they're definitely there's definitely the leaders are caught with their pants down.
100%. That's the point. The prophets, the arch apostles of neo-atheism in this day and age are all in it. I mean, the major ones, of course. Lawrence Krauss is there. Dawkins is there.
So just on this, look, you spoke to Dawkins and you challenged him on something very direct, the illusion of design.
Yes.
What was his reaction? Playing to the crowd, saying, "How dare you?"
Yeah.
We were outside the World Atheist Convention. You remember in 2011.
Yes.
This particular incident in that particular convention, you also had what's known as Elevator Gate, where again Dawkins came out on the side where there was a woman being harassed and he wasn't on her side, and he tried to link it to Islam and how they treat their women. So look at them in their own house.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a glass house and they're throwing stones at us.
Basically, these are a bunch of Islamophobes who are trying to use their science credentials to attack Islam and Muslims, and they are basically in cahoots with the Zionists. Okay, these are the worst people walking the planet. I have no doubt in saying this. Krauss, who has been indicted in the past as well.
Many sexual allegations. Many women have come forward.
So that doesn't surprise me.
And by the way, he was causing a lot of problems in terms of women's rights in Islam and talking about this topic as if, and that was at the time where there's a lot of this stuff that's already happened.
Well, this is the same guy Hamza debated.
Yes.
In 2011 or 12, I don't remember. When Hamza asked him this question, that is incest wrong? And he said, I'm not sure he's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you believe? These are the kind of people who are trying to give you this impression that they are the leaders of science in this day and age. These are a bunch of perverts who are political puppets. They are part of a political movement. Call it Zionism, call it...
Epstein is part and parcel of them.
Yes.
Lawrence Krauss is giving him information. Look at this guy that left Islam and getting all happy. And look at the
What's the purpose of that email?
Yeah.
Why is Lawrence Krauss emailing Epstein, telling him, look at this Muslim boy, he has left Islam. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that? The purpose is clearly to tell Epstein, the funder, that look, this is what we are achieving. We are causing Muslim young people, youth, to leave Islam because the shubhat, because of the doubts we are spreading. Okay, therefore fund us. Therefore Israel, Epstein, give us the money. Right? This is the point. This is the link. Don't forget the link. Do not separate Lawrence Krauss from Epstein. Do not separate Epstein from the State of Israel. This is a connected chain. And don't forget, Lawrence Krauss was the science advisor to the president of the USA, Obama. He was
wow,
advising
wow.
Obama on science. This is all public. So
And
lo-
look, Bill Clinton's involved. Donald Trump is involved. They talk about grooming gangs. This is an international grooming gang. This is an international trafficking gang.
Satan worshippers,
So-
possibly indulging in rituals.
Politicians, religious leaders, celebrities, scientists. What do they all have in common? There's a link to Israel. What do they all have in common? There's a link to Mossad. There's a link to atheism.
And there's a link to anti-Islam
Yes.
hatred. Okay, so now what is the bottom line? What is the solution? What is the conclusion? Islam, just on these very bases, Islam stands as the truth. Okay,
People can see it.
Because
People can see it.
because look at the people who are attacking Islam. We're not saying Islam is true because of these people.
Yeah.
We're saying look at these people, how evil they are and how united they are in attacking Islam. So this is what's common about Epstein,
Yeah.
the state of Israel,
Yeah.
and these so-called scientists running the neo-atheistic movement.
Absolutely. And just to end upon, there's one atheist we did not mention, new atheist, which is Christopher Hitchens. He died before any of this nonsense came out. Christopher Hitchens said the only ones fighting for secularism is us, as in the new atheists, and the American army in Afghanistan and Iraq. And this is a verified quote, and I have it in my book, Dawkins Deselected. The fact is, all of these people believe they are on a battlefield against Islam, which is ideological, which is axiological, value-based, which is theological as well, and they believe in this battle they have science on their side. They don't have science on their side. All they have is the pretense of science. And this link, this international exposure that happens, Allah's exposed all these people, it goes to show not only is it the case that if you're godless, you're going to have these type of things ending up in your societies, but also that it's the very people who are shouting the loudest about human rights that turned out to be the biggest culprits.
Absolutely. There are human rights lawyers there on Epstein
Oh, yeah.
Island. There's Dershowitz there. Okay, there's Peter, what's his name? This guy who was the ambassador to the British ambassador to the US.
Oh, Mandelson.
Mandelson.
One of the
is there.
most powerful positions in the British government.
Yeah.
The link between Britain and United States of America is the ambassador. And he was caught with his pants down, literally his pants down.
Epstein came as a mercy of Allah. I mean, I'm not saying he was a mercy of Allah in what he was doing, but he
exposure.
exposed the sham of all these people. In that sense, he exposed to the world that these are the people who are leading you, these are the people who are ruling you, these are the people who are teaching you, these are the people who are defending you in courts. These are the people. So in that sense, the exposure that came
That was a
with
mercy.
the Epstein Island is a mercy from Allah. Okay, Epstein, of course, is a cursed
Do you know how
individual.
many
Yeah.
non-Muslims right now are looking at Islam and thinking this is the solution? All these guys, first they committed a genocide in Gaza. Now this exposure has come out and we've seen they're all in it. There's different mosques.
He was happy when
Democrat,
Tommy
Repu-
Robinson was released from prison.
He's cheap according whatever pound statement he made, right?
Yeah.
And these people, Steve Bannon, all Tommy Robinson, all these characters, what do they all have in common? Hatred of Islam. And I just want to end upon one thing which is very, very simple. Epstein's entire operation from beginning till end, we know was a Mossad operation. There's no doubt about this. What does it go to show you about what Mossad wants? It wants the end of the Islamic civilization.
Absolutely.
And it will do it through many different means. And alhamdulillah, Allah has exposed them. And now all over the internet, people are searching about Islam.
And we know this by the actions of the Zionists, not only in Gaza, not only through the genocide in Gaza, but also how they are funding anti-Islam movements, right-wing, racist movements
Yeah.
throughout Europe.
Yeah.
There is a direct link between Mossad, between the state of Israel, and some of these anti-Islam, racist, xenophobic politicians in Western Europe. Okay, so it is very clear it was a major operation that got busted, and Epstein got exposed, and with him all the culprits got exposed. And this is what I call the mercy of Allah. This is exactly what I mean when I say this was a mercy of Allah.
Absolutely. Jazakallah khair. And for anybody who's interested in learning about Islam, you can go to onereason.org. And in the next couple of days, there's new stuff we're going to be putting out on Epstein, inshallah.